Hello, welcome to Math with Mr. Dobrescu to the rescue. Today is an exciting day because we are going to solve real-life word problems using similar triangles. Let's take a look at this problem here. We have this person here who is 5 feet tall, and this person is casting a shadow of 3 feet. And then here we have a flagpole. We do not know the length of the flagpole, but this flagpole is casting a shadow 36 feet. And now we are going to find how tall is the flagpole. But first, we are going to discover that we are going to find if this triangle ABC, is similar to triangle DEF. Because in this problem, they're asking us, use the fact that the two rays from the sun are parallel to explain why triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Now we know that when the sun hits the person, and the sun hits also the flagpole, it forms parallel lines, okay, parallel lines. And this angle over here is congruent to this angle over here, okay? So angle C and angle F are congruent because the sun rays hit this person and the flagpole at the same angle going down to the ground. And now we also know that this angle over here, angle D and angle A, have 90 degrees in measure. Because it says right here, remember, if we have a little square there inside of a triangle, that means that angle is 90 degrees. Now, because we know that this angle and this angle are the same, and also angle F and angle C are the same, automatically we can conclude that angle B and angle E are also congruent. Because remember, in a triangle, if we have two triangles and we see that two angles are the same, automatically the third angle should also be the same, because all the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So now, knowing that triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar, we are going to use proportions in order for us to find how tall is the flagpole. Okay? So we are going to use corresponding sides, right? So let's start with X, the flagpole, right? So we have X over, we are going to say proportion, X over, so the longer leg of this right triangle, of the bigger triangle, divided by the longer leg of the smaller triangle, which is 5 feet, should equal the smaller leg of the bigger triangle, which is 36 feet, divided by the smaller leg of the smaller triangle, 3 feet. And now we are simply going to use cross multiplication and solve for X. Okay, let's do that. Now, before we do cross multiplication, we can simplify 36 divided by 3. Let's simplify this. 3 go into 3 one time. Okay, bring down the 6. And twice. 2 times 3 is 6. So this is 12. So we can rewrite this as X over 5 equals 12 over 1. Okay? Because if we divide the top and the bottom by 3, we get 12 over 1. And now we can simply cross multiply. So we have X times 1, which is X, equals 5 times 12. 5 times 12, which is actually 60. So the answer is X equals 60 what? 60 feet. Don't forget that. 60 feet. So now we were able to find out how tall is the flagpole. Okay, so the flagpole is actually 60 feet because we were able to use the fact that this triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar, and because of that reason we were able to use proportion. We use the corresponding sides from both triangles, set it up as a proportional relationship, and we are able to find the value of x, or how tall is the flagpole. Okay? Let's take a look at another problem now. In this problem here, we have a treasure. We have a treasure right here. And then it says here, the map shows the number of steps you must take to get to the treasure. The number of steps you must take to get to the treasure, right? You can go through here, and then you have to go to the treasure right there. Now, it says here, however, the map is old and the last dimension is unreadable. The last dimension from the pyramids to the treasure is very hard to read. Even though we know all other dimensions, but we need to find this dimension right there. Let's call this x. Okay, we need to find that dimension. And the question is, explain why the triangles are similar. First, we need to find out if these triangles are similar, this triangle here with this triangle here, if they are similar. And then if they are similar, we are going to find the distance, right, from the pyramids to the treasure. We got to find that distance. Again, first of all, our first goal will be to find out if this triangle and this triangle are similar. Okay? Now we know, again, that this angle here and this angle here are 90 degrees. Because if they are straight angle. This person is walking straight up and then continues at a 90 degree, goes on the other direction. And from the pyramids again, straight up to the treasure. So these angles have 90 degrees. What else do they have in common? If we take a look at these triangles, they are connected right here. And we know that this angle and this angle are congruent because remember, opposite or vertical angles are always congruent. This angle and this angle are congruent, and this angle and this angle are congruent. Therefore, we know for sure that the third angle is also congruent now. And now we proved that both of these triangles are similar. This triangle and this little triangle are similar. Knowing that information, we can set up a proportion and solve for x to find how many steps you can take from the pyramids to the treasure. Okay, let's find that. Let's discover that. Okay, so again, let's set up the proportion. Okay, we are going to set up the proportion looking at the corresponding sides of these triangles, right? So we have here x divided by, so the smaller side of the smaller triangle, okay, let's call this x, right? X divided by, looking at the other side here, right, divided by 300 steps should equal to 80 divided by 240. And now we are simply going to solve for x using the cross multiplication method. But first of all, we can see that we can simplify, we can cross out 1 8 from the top with one 0 from the top with another 0 from the bottom. And now we can divide top and bottom by 8. 8 divided by 8 becomes 1. And 24 divided by 8 becomes 3. Because 3 times 8 becomes 24. So now we have x over 300 equals 1 over 3. And now we are going to use cross multiplication and solve for x. So we have 3x equals 300 times 1, which is 300. And finally divide both sides by 3. This simplifies to 1x equals 300 divided by 3 becomes 100. And don't forget to put the steps, 100 steps. That's it, 100 steps. So the distance from the pyramids to the treasure is 100 100 steps. That's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please, if you still need to practice, take a look at these problems here. See the way I set up these problems? First of all, we have to make sure that we know how to identify these both triangles as being similar. And once we know that, we can set up a proportional relationship and find the x. The same thing we did for the second problem. Thank you all so much again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for our next video. All the best to you. Again, I'm wearing blue. Blue stands for proficient.